Rockin' the werewolf avatar as well. How appropriate. How fitting. Howling? Does that work? I feel like that one's a stretch. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. It's Sunday night, and of course that means viewer games. As always, we have a whole lot to get through, but there's a few different things at the top that we got to talk about before we get into it, so let's go over those right now. So chat, a couple of housekeeping items. One, this is going to be I'll call it shorter viewer game breakdown setup because I'm only going to do my normal 10. We're definitely not going to squeeze in any extras because I am wiped. I'm just really tired. We might wrap up early. We might do some variety. We'll see how things go, but I'm only feeling, at least at the moment, enough energy to probably get through our initial batch. We'll play it by ear, but I expect we'll probably knock it off after 10. 2. I will not be streaming next weekend, so for all of you out there in YouTube land, if you want to come by the live stream, the link is in the description, but the weekend of September 9th and 10th. So we're doing this breakdown on the 3rd, Sunday the 10th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. I will not be streaming those days. The 10th would have been the viewer breakdown day. So while this video will go up, and obviously you would be hearing this if you're watching this on YouTube, there will not then be a video the next week because I'm going to be away, so we wouldn't have done the reviews, etc. Just giving people a heads up. I've talked about it throughout a few of the streams this weekend already, but just bringing it up once again. 3. Of course, I have to let everybody know that I am part of the content affiliate program. Phobies team does, of course, give me in-game coffee for producing Phobies content. So, letting everybody know before we get started. But that's enough housekeeping. Let's get into the actual games. Alright, first game up of the night. Vile Vortis 11, Lucasus. I'm getting the hang of this brony thing. Alright, we've actually seen a few bronies on this map up to this point, which is kind of cool. Brony is absolutely a backbreaking phobie in the correct hands. And it sounds like Luca here is, molding the brony, if you will. Bad guy with a weird opener. Presumably they just don't have Snowball, hence the droney. Although the droney should have gone to the center regardless. This doesn't make any sense. So mistake number 1 goes to bad guy. Our hero here in the blue trunks does want to be a little more aggressive, dropping that Maggie on the board. One thing I actually didn't mention in the housekeeping items chat, Fright Night coming up. Fright Night coming up. Hopefully people who are watching this video, if it is actually filled. At the time of this recording, we've maxed out capacity. It's possible people will drop or change their mind or be unable to attend for one reason or another, but as of right now, we're maxed out. So join up on the Discord if you want to hear about it for the next one or if you want to keep abreast of, whether any slots open up. There are some big names playing, so we'll see who takes it down this time. But speaking of getting taken down, Droney goes down thanks to Snowball. That's got to smell terrible. Melting metal. Gross. Noxious came out. Not quite sure why. Well, I take it back. I like Noxious on this map. Louis Gooey God. I appreciate that. I don't agree with this one, though. Our hero here being a little overly aggressive. Overly aggressive with his Maggie, just completely unnecessary. Like, that just doesn't... This just dies for no purpose. There's no reason to sacrifice this right now. Unless bad guy does something bizarre, but presumably they just eat this. They don't even need the double poison ivy hit. They can just walk up the cat. But we do get a trapper here. We do get a trapper, so that definitely helps out. Getting an early trap connection. Well, it was a sort of trap connection, so it looks like Poison Ivy dropped the trap in the same spot, hence the AoE. It does activate the trap, and there you go. Following up the Hydra for our hero is an Innocuous. I do like Innocuous on this map. The 3 Rangers on really any map. Like, let's be real. 3 Rangers are very good on pretty much any map. Hydra, I don't know about that one, but it is what it is. It's big and it's tanky, and our hero briefly had a pretty significant panic point advantage. I don't really agree with just throwing these phobies away. No, like, you could have kept a decent panic point advantage and maintained that and then kind of drawn your opponent in to pick something off at one point or another, but I guess it is what it is. So this is, of course, to prevent the pull with the Inoculus onto the lava. If it had ended up where the cowbell was, it probably would have died between the combination of lava and a Jin Sting hit. Although then maybe the Jin Sting goes down because you could follow up with a Hydra, but it ends up in an exchange that our hero probably wasn't too sure of. This is a safer or easier way to keep it safe. The cowbell's not going to die unless, for some reason, bad guy overextends. What's my favorite phobie? People ask a lot. I really don't know. I like a lot of them. I usually default to saying Noxious, even though I don't have it, because it's the random thoughts colors, but, you know. Yeah, Boofair and Jackalope King with Mopsy. I wish all of those were better. I wish all of those were better. I don't know what bad guy's game plan was here. I mean, obviously, you get the disease connection, but our hero has 20 keys. Bad guy has 10. Hydra gets a good connection. Bisketti's gonna eat it. Alright, we're starting the night off with weird chat. I guess it's the lingering weird from last week. Like, why did Smiley just hit the board? To stop bees? Like, I don't know. You love Alistor? I don't have Alistor, but I haven't seen it too much any longer. I do like it. There are too many phobies that I really, really like for me to pick one and go, yeah, that's the definitive favorite. You have Mount Crushmore on that account? Nice. So I assume, let's see, 431, 450. So while this Baba Yaga will not die to the disease, it's not healing up, like, very quickly. So an invade could take it down, but we do finally see the Brony. Little chomp action coming in. I gotta hydrate up, chat. I am wiped. I got, like, no sleep last night. Like, virtually none. Despite being so tired because I didn't sleep the night before, I ended up, like, not falling asleep for hours after the stream last night, and then I had to wake up real early today. No bueno. No bueno. We do get a panic point flip in bad guy's favor. Down goes the cat, but bad guy. Bad news. Bad news. My name is Brony. The Brony, in fact, powers off literally everything. Here, 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 and here. Hilariously, Giraffe Bachelor does dodge the Brony thanks to block, as does Hydra, but, like, that Brony is pretty savage. That Brony was pretty brutal. I don't really know what bad guy's plan is here with the Crushmore. Goodbye damage is right. Yeah, bad guy has their whole team turned off for a while. Disease on the Crushmore means that's just going to die. The question is, will Smiley get another connection? My guess is no. Let's be real. The positioning is going to have to be so weird, plus the lava damage, plus eventually things will hit it. Maybe it'll get another disease, but I doubt it. More Baba Yaga traps going down. More bad news for bad guy. Free hits from Bachelor, because, you know, why not? Bad guy's not really in a spectacular position here. Admittedly, their team will come back online next turn. They are now going back to a fairly significant panic point advantage. And Smiley will croak due to poison next turn. Unable to get another connection, but it did zone out a lot of bad guys' team. Like, this Jin Sting is effectively not in the game. This looks like it's going to be a dead Hevo. Oh, not quite. Or is it quite? Got him. Get bopped. Hydra invading on the spa? I mean, yeah, why not? Brony taking panic points. Once again, bad news for bad guy. Not even many Phobies left at this point. A mere 4, one of which is a cowbell. And the one of the others is Misanthrope. You're not really too pleased with those. Bad guy trying to make an aggressive play here. You could say it could work. But, I mean, it's not going to. Our hero's going to have Hydra on the heart momentarily. Ooh, our hero's actually going for the panic points, which I can appreciate. Like, I get it. I would have liked to have seen the Brony just stay here. I would have liked to have seen the Brony stay here because there's just... The Brony's not going to come back online before the game ends. So just let it go here. It locks off this panic point so that way bad guy can't claim it. And then there's just, like, literally nothing they can do. Still looks like over half heart health for our hero. There's just, like, what is bad guy going to do at this stage? It's just not coming together. Hydra hits aren't quite enough to claim this, but this looks like a dead Poison Ivy, or likely dead Poison Ivy. Which means, once again, a much larger panic point advantage. The blue is even going to power down the Misanthrope. This Brony could have taken this panic point, I think. You could have killed the Poison Ivy, take the panic point. 15 minutes late, missed the good stuff. Yeah, it was a pretty good Brony hit, DT. It was pretty solid. Get Bronied, nerd. GG. Got him. Well played. Solid Brony hit. Definitely some things to clean up, but, I mean, that Brony hit was brutal. GG. This one, in fact, this game, it's Urkevina's game on Rush Hour. An example of a successful gargle strategy on Rush Hour. That feels like did we do this before? I know Urk has submitted several. I don't remember if we'll see if we watched this particular game. Because I feel like those notes are very familiar. I feel like, I mean, we know the strategy, so the opener is very familiar, of course, as well. I mean, we've definitely seen the gargle strategy before. I don't know if we saw this particular game. We'll see. Notably, the early boomer means, and we talked about this when I was running it, as Urkevina was explaining how the gargle's plan works. The boomer here to the top does tank a whole lot of things. So it's something for people to keep in mind, because I've seen a whole lot of people send Fragile 1 keys up there, and then they just die. Either a combination or even simply just to snowball, because people get lazy and it's like, I don't know why you sent Boom there, but it just dies. But Boomer instead does tank. Bad guy being kind of bold. They will take a hit here, probably, maybe. But electing to bank since our hero also banked. And there is the big man himself, Chuck, trundling, rumbling. Chuck is rumbling onto the battlefield. Miss Moffat is the answer. Miss Moffat plus sheep. I mean, yeah, I get it. I get it. Still going to be a very awkward connection here. Raucous. So this is probably why Urk had encouraged me, or I forget. Like, we had a very similar scenario on this map using this strat, and somebody sent something to the north like that and capped our panic point. We were player 2. And the suggestion was, well, lock them in with multiple phobies. And we did. It was not the correct choice at the time, if I recall correctly. But here, that Raucous lived. That means Raucous gets 2 hits, K9 gets 2 hits, Ginsting gets 2 hits, and possibly something else gets 2 hits. It's a lot. If anybody's curious why that Raucous didn't move, sedimentary. I don't know if you are actually Hoploy, Louis Gooey. I feel like you said that before and were trolling at the time, so I don't know. Chuck is the one phobia I want to get as first as an ultra rare, like Bluelian, not gonna lie, I want to get Furnace Face as well. Last night you were saying you hope that you get, who was it? You were hoping you get Leshy and Russell. Or is that somebody else? Yeah, bad guy, it kind of feels as though bad guy is panicking here. They have no idea what to do at this point after the Hevo got locked in. I'm not locked in here with you, you're locked in here with me. Basically what happened, because unfortunately for bad guy, yeah, there wasn't really much they could do, and they ended up losing 8 keys there. Now, our hero did end up losing 6, but still key positive trade. Plus, tempo loss of expecting that you set up your game plan for certain things, and then when you lose those game pieces, it's a problem. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, DT. Like I said, I feel as though that troll has shown up, like that, the troll being the line, before. I don't know. I'm kind of doubting. Press X to doubt, chat. And now bad guy, the realization is hit. The realization is hit of what is actually happening here. Trying to sneak in this creep on the bottom, maybe to hit the Chuck. I'll be honest, I don't really like that game plan. You just lose the creep, and the Chuck probably just tanks it all, and it's completely irrelevant. Any of the Boom family members with this combo could go hard. Which combo? With Chuck and Gargles? I don't know about that one. I don't know if I agree with that, Mushry. You can walk through it. Well, we had this debate before, but even with the walkthrough, your opponent's probably not going to walk up to here. Like, if you walk through and overextend, they're just going to snipe it. I'm sure you'll catch someone, right? Like, somebody's going to get caught by that. Bad guy about to get powered down by Oopsie Baby. Then get paddles. So now we're up to, what, 13, 17, somewhere between 18 and 20 keys, possibly more. That's like the entire game plan. Big old power down, hitting boss. How big of a power down, you might ask? That is a level 10 oopsie baby against a level 8 boss. 40 damage and 0 respectively. I mean, you're fired, but womp wah. Got Kerbloom? Nice. You gotta do on to proud. Quick yoink here. Certainly not the sheep connection. Oh, they're probably not even going to go for it. This is just to prevent the Klepto from getting pulled out of position. Which was unnecessary. They probably had done all that in anticipation of the Klepto finishing it off, and then ran out of time at the end of turn, something like that. Quick heal on the boss, but boss is on a full, I mean, not full retreat, but a partial retreat at this stage, and that's just, yeah, Chuck is about to go ham. Chuck is just like, is anybody making a sandwich? Because I am ham. Which also seems really weird. Like, if you spread out that acronym, it sounds really weird. Chuck and shit posting. I mean, yeah, it isn't a forward, a pretty forward Jin sting. But remember, the boss is powered down. The boss is doing almost literally 0 damage, and nothing else is in position. Like, Urk has complete and utter control of this game. Admittedly, the Gargles is dead, but like, okay, okay. So the one thing that was in Bad Guy's favor is if you look at Urk's heart health, it is arguably low, but remember, big map, still over 4k health. I thought we did bait her, but I don't remember the boss power down, so I think we watched a different Urk game with this same game plan previously. Moffat died, so sheep will never connect? Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Yeah, this particular set of plays, I do not recall. Maybe I'm just forgetting. But, yeah. Bad Guys in a World of Hurt here. You can put some pressure on the Oopsie Baby, but I don't think there's enough damage to actually kill it. Honestly, I probably would have maybe left the Chuck up here, so that way it can get 2 hits. But you might not be able to, like, 2, 4, 5 with the jar. Might not have enough damage to actually kill this stuff. Power down on the sheep. Down goes boss to a lowly cat. I do kind of remember an aggressive sheep like this, chat. This does seem familiar, but I don't know. This does seem very, like, now it's starting to seem familiar, but I don't... There are too many things that are different. I don't think this is the same game that we had seen previously. But regardless... Yeah, Bad Guy's just getting picked apart here. Ultimately, this is going to be just a jar very quickly. Sheep connection or not. It's only a jar, friend. It's panic point advantage. Unfortunately, bad guy just not accepting their fate here. Just kind of my guy. It's over. Let it go. There we go. Accepting the inevitable. Urk gonna drop the hammer. Well played. We do see the successful Chuck Gargles plan. I do think it's feasible on this map, and I do need to write it down for the archive, for the build Bible, if you will. But I have to remember to actually do that offline. Somebody remind me. GG, well played. It's a bad moon rising. It's a full moon rising, according to DT, and I think we know what that means. Rockin' the werewolf avatar as well. How appropriate. How fitting. Howling? Does that work? I feel like that one's a stretch. Bad Moon Rising, Plants vs. Zombies hero reference? It's actually a song, but it's an old song. Oh man, does nobody know that song? Are we really there? Chat, I've explained this now 4 times. I'm not explaining it again. But DT with the early werewolf, taking the top panic point, but down 3-1. Down 3-1. Ginsting coming in, picking off the cat. And a bank. So this is interesting. I will point this out that I know for me personally, I tend to favor wider approaches for Phobies. In general, whether it's a big map, it's a small map, if given the option, I tend to prefer going wider rather than taller. Outside of the general, okay, well, I just want to bank for a big dummy plan. But the reason for that is you often get more damage and, of course, can threaten more things, whether it's Phobies, it's panic points, it's the heart, it's whatever, if you have more. It's very difficult to get more damage out of a single Phobie than it is to get additional damage out of 2 Phobies, for example, just because of the way positioning works and the way the game mechanics play out. But here, DT did end up banking, plopped out a Hydra, banked to 8 again after that, so we'll have to see what comes onto the board. But this looks like a very quick pick on Finnegan, not really clear on why that was there to begin with, maybe because bad guy was planning on following up with his Glob. Glob also generates a whole lot of questions. But even on top of that, we get an erratic, which I know DT has mentioned offline. Well, online, I guess, because it was in stream. That erratic has been moving back up the list. That it's become, or it's trying to cycle back into prominence. We'll see. I don't think Glob is the right response. I don't think Glob is the right response to, like, almost literally anything. I really want Glob to be better, but a lot of the time, by the time you get Glob, by the time it's accessible, because this is a stress level reward, it ultimately, generally your opponents have the appropriate tools to respond to it, which in general seems fair, right? Like, if your opponent has Glob and you have no pulls, no pushes, which you definitely won't have no pulls, you should at least have Moffat, but that's going to be a big feels bad moment, right? It's very difficult to engineer the scenario where Glob is the viable option. So we are getting an enormous amount of damage going down on this Hydra, but I get the sense that DT just wants to trade the Hydra for the Glob. Bad guy not interested in doing that. And we get a Bluelian as the follow-up for bad guy. All right. So Repeller is one of and it's actually showing up on both sides. I'm not really clear on why bad guy did it. I guess Repeller's fine into Hydra. Repeller's fine into Hydra, I guess, just to play keep away. But Repeller, this, I talked about this before, this is one of the few... Wow. Alright, we're going... Do we get the trifecta out of DT? You're going to have to lose a Phobie here in order to make that happen, but we'll see. To complete the thought, Repeller has very few use cases to me. This is one of them, to fight Glob. It just almost completely invalidates Glob. Bad guy, I don't agree with picking off Boomer there. Unless you're making a push on a panic point here to flip the panic points, I don't want to kill Boomer. The reason being is DT was locked into the Phobies they have. You could then react to them. Well, you're maxed out also, but like that's one less feasible Phobie for DT to use. Now DT has this slot freed up and can add to their team. It would have actually been cute. I don't think DT could have done this given the positioning bad guy was in, but if you could run the werewolf here, bait the Glob in, and then boop it into the pit, that wouldn't have worked because all this stuff would have been up one, but, I mean, it is. Got Ice Scream from a Dreadful. Ice Scream's fine, but, yeah, I'm not super thrilled about it. Quick pick here on a Tractor on Repeller. That is going to result in 2 dead Phobies for bad guy, which does free them up to use their remaining 10 keys. However, it does put them in a little bit of a hole overall. Since the boop is down, once again, like I was calling out the potential for DT to boop the Glob into the pit, here the boop is down for bad guys, so that Hydra's safe. Their boops kept me from putting Big Wolf on the middle panic point like I usually do. Wait, usually do? How often? Like, is this now the go-to for this map? I mean, the Big Bad Wolf is kind of a big bad deal. Brony! Okay. Ooh, that's a dead erratic. Bad guy with the Glob onto the Hydra. That's kind of a big deal because that's a significant... Oh no, that's just dead. That's a significant chunk of damage here. That's a painful turn for our hero. Werewolf even gets powered down, but that's an advantage here because it can walk away. Brony! Oh, baby! Powering down the whole team, capping the panic points. The only thing I don't like about this turn is that DT did not send the Murder Wing to hold this point. Because bad guy could go cap this point, but that would have been hilarious to like send Murder Wing here and be like, all right, you just... There's nothing you can do. You can glob my Brony, and that's it. I was opening with Werewolf instead of Snowball this whole time. This map is in rotation. I mean, I like it. I like it. But yeah. Operation Get Bronied is a go. If we get the push, that's going to allow... This is a good heads-up play from bad guy just to recap this position. But Glob's going to eat. It's kind of a, quick bite. Can't even glob the Brony because of a tractor? Fair. Lol. Just some, oh, by the way, pressure here. Attractor does assume the position on the panic point, so now bad guy can't dislodge 4 of the 5 panic points. You can send the Gravedigger up to the north. Yeah, the Murder Wing lived. Wait, what? Because the digest does no damage? Oh my god. I mean, it does say disables all damage. Get bronied is right. I think I need a Russell scream, but I'm just screaming get bronied to add to the sound effects, chat. What do you think? What I kind of want to do, maybe I'll record it offline where it's like, get bronied! And then I just, like, drag it out super long till the point where, like, I have no breath left in my lungs. By the way, Juiced Werewolf on the stim. The frozen Murder Wing that lived all the way through however many turns of being globbed. That had to be icky. That's about the only way to describe that, right? If you got globbed and nothing was happening, it's just icky. Well played, DT. Alright, after DT's masterclass in both Bronies and Bad Moons, we got JustRandomSt opening up with a little good boy action of their own. The level difference is insane. I actually didn't catch it as we zoned in. So we'll have to see when the first Phobies hit the board. What do we got here? Level 14 versus level 9. So that's not, I mean, that's pretty significant. Don't get me wrong. Like, that's a big level difference. But that's not the largest disparity we've seen before. Like, so this came up, I mean, it comes up every day in the Discord, right? But there was a discussion recently where, I forget who it was saying that, like, a 3-level disparity isn't bad. Quote unquote. Just outplay them. And I'm like, at 3 levels, I think it really becomes difficult. I mean, it's not a hard and fast rule because it's really about breakpoints. You know, like a 1-level difference between Jar and Snowball is astronomical. A 3-level difference is still worse, but it doesn't matter. Like, the 1-level difference is already, this is real bad, right? Also, what is happening right now? We get double snakes and then zappy thunder rocks. I mean, alright, whatever. But my point is that the 3-level difference, I think, is kind of bad. 4+ is where it's, okay, yeah, you can outplay somebody, but it is very difficult. Blondie into Zappy Gonzo is a very bold move. Yeah! Yeah! Like, Ouchtown Population U, bro! Admittedly, like, this Thunder Rocks is just dead, but I don't think there's any way to threaten Zappy, right? Well, you'll screech and walk away. That seems completely unnecessary unless you're not planning on connecting with Hydra. Haha, we get a cupcake. I'm telling you right now, Cupcake should have a warm-up. Get chomped. Num 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 num. It's that simple, chat. You just kill the bug zapper. It's that easy. 9 keys down for what? 6? Pretty good trade. It's a pretty good trade. They said it couldn't be done, chat, but all you got to do is walk up to the electricals and just punch them right in the neck. Everybody's got a plan until they get hit in the mouth. That Zappy and Thunder Rocks had a plan. Let me tell you about that plan. I went up in smoke. This guy knows how much Cupcake needs a cooldown ability. I assume you mean a warm-up, but yes. All you need is this broken phobie to do it. It even works underwater. And it can still slice a tomato. We need Billy Mays back so we can rip Billy Mays. We need Billy Mays back to do an infomercial about Cupcake and the terrible, terrible things that it does to your opponent. Imagine a tomato-based phobia. Okay, so does anybody remember Attack of the Killer Tomatoes? Real talk, does anybody remember that? It was legitimate. It was not just a movie. They had a cartoon. I distinctly remember having toys of it. I don't think I own them anymore, but I distinctly remember having toys from the cartoon Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Right now it's Attack of the Killer Sour... Wait, what? Why? Can you not kill the Hydra? Oh, that thing has almost 4k health. Alright, maybe not. I was gonna say, like, you get 2 hits. This doesn't seem like it's worth it. I don't feel like that was worth it. I don't, chat. I don't feel like that was worth it. Chat, it's the proto-sizzle. Bad guy without their gonzo, gonna have to lay down the beats the good old-fashioned way. I don't know that I really get the baby Snakey here, to be honest, but... The Daisy could, like, honestly, our hero's not in a great position here. That's a level 4 Daisy. Alright, timeout. Like, this level disparity... Wait, what? Why the... Why did you put out a level 4 baby Snakey? Like, I legitimately don't understand why the baby Snakey's out here. If you go into a game, right? And you go, alright, we zoned in. Oh no, they're, like, out-leveling me by a lot. And a lot in this case was 5 at the start. And it seemed to, for the most part, have been... continued to be true, right? Well, maybe not. But, like, if you're down levels, I'm not going to put something that's even lower level on the board. Honestly, the level disparity kind of flattened out a lot. I don't like that. I guess it's fine. Like, you could argue that's just throwing Boom away, but it does cause this Crushmore to be in a weird position, hypothetically. But yeah, I'll be honest, I don't understand how our hero wins this. Our bad guy has, like, every advantage here. Alistor... Is Alistor... I'm trying to think out of the base set of Phobies, like the initial release of Phobies. Is there a Phobie that is better as the last Phobie than Alistor? You know, where, like, its big power spike is the very, very end of the game, as compared to, like, yeah, if Boss is your last Phobie, it's very good, right? But Boss is good at pretty much all points where you could play Boss. Alistor gets better, in my opinion, the less Phobies there are on the board. Bad guy didn't need to advance here. Is this how bad guy loses? Yo, that guy is mad. I don't know. Okay, so Hydra lives. I assume this Alistar is just dead. Yeah, like, that's how you lose this game as bad guy. There are several turns in this game where I don't... There are several turns in that game that if I'm in their shoes, I want those turns back. I want those turns back, and I want them now. Oh, that doesn't feel good. Unless you win. Like our hero did. GG. Well played. Alright, Prototype back on Exponential Decay. On this game, since I haven't tried using Fleshcrawler for a while, I decided to try him again. Let's see how it goes. We will see how it goes. We will see how it goes. Because Fleshcrawler... Wait, what? Alright. This is an opener you can do. Those are Phobies that you can use. You can actually put them in those positions on that particular turn in that order. Is that a common thing? No. But it can be done. Our hero with a more, I'll call it traditional opener. The reason I say that, besides from the Murder Wing, is I believe both of these players are fairly low stress levels, so therefore the expectation is just, you know, this is how it's going to work. Bad guy, very willing to just, I guess, sacrifice this Eternal Night. Because it's just dead. I feel like this happens every time we watch a Prototype game. We just watch bad guy say, I hate my Phobies, and then proceed to, like, beat them mercilessly, and then hand them over to Prototype to be beat mercilessly once again. It's like, that's just 3 keys dead for literally no purpose. And then they back off because they have no way to pressure these things. Oh, look, the jar dies too. Forget Fleshcrawler. Forget Fleshcrawler. This is like watching Home Alone and watch... What are the names of the criminals? It's Marv and something. Like, they walk in, it's like there's Legos all over the floor. The one gets shot in the wiener with a BB gun. Murder Wing will die. It doesn't matter. Murder Wing is now +1 key by itself. It killed the boom and the jar. Like, killing the jar alone is probably worth it most of the time. What jar do they play jar? I mean, it was there for mere moments. Speedola coming on the board. I didn't even notice because we're just watching bad guy get cheese grated. Like, it's horrendous. Murder Wing feels like an MVP here. I mean, Murder Wing's usually pretty good. Double poison because erratic. Double birds. I feel like this one was coming from a mile away. But ultimately, you lost the cat. It's like, alright, whatever. Moly Bully and Numbskull. I don't really know what bad guy's plan is here, because this is about to be a really strong Noxious hit. So here's the question. You can take this Noxious hit. This is going to do 8, 13. So this guy dies. The Noxious is going to die on counterattack, I think. I'm not going to count it up, but I'm pretty sure it dies. You could have instead gone here and then poisoned Moly, Baba, and Erratic. In which case, yeah, it definitely dies, but it's going to die anyway, unless bad guy walks away for some reason. Which maybe they will. Could they have killed Erratic? You hit twice. You hit. You hit with this? Yeah, you could have killed Erratic. 3. We'll round up to 5, so that's 8. We'll round up again. 13. 16. 2,000. I was rounding up a bunch, so maybe you couldn't. Well, you could actually just punch with this and get extra damage. So, like, you could punch instead of poisoning, just invade with everything, and maybe you get Erratic. I'm not going to count it up, because we'll see. Moly, in fact, does go in. Moly does, in fact, go in to finish off the Noxious. So we're going to slap the crap out of Numbskull here, and then, I guess, get Sheep to connect on... Oh, no, you can't. I mean, Erratic's dead. Bad guy was dead 6 turns ago, but now they're definitely dead, right? Like, they've lost such an enormous amount of... I don't know about this, because this is like sacrificing the sheep. Like, there's no way this sheep escapes. Sounds like a weird board game. Sheep escape. Admittedly, our hero has plenty of ground to give. Maybe this is just like, well, I felt bad. I still had all these, so I'm going to donate some Phobies to him. Baba Yaga, probably going to die to the poison. Flightless birds doing their best Jurassic Park impression. Down goes Moly Bully. Yeah, at this point, you can spawn Flesh Crawler. You could just not spawn anything and probably win. It might be tough only winning with what you have against 6 keys, but then again, the Baba Yaga's dead, so... If it weren't for the way things are lined up, this kind of looks like one of the challenge plays. Just due to the variety and the diversity of Phobies on the board, right? Especially because you have ones that you don't typically see. And it certainly does look like a challenge play board now with that Flesh Crawler. Let's be real. Second Zappy we've seen tonight. Probably second Zappy we're going to see dead. That's a really pathetic bloat activation. Should make this the thumbnail. Just put bloat up there. People didn't like the cupcake thumbnail, chat. Level 4 bloat. 100 damage and change. Womp womp. Does get the second hit to connect with the Stairmaster. Congrats. Bloat Roll's worst activation ever. Has to leave the realm of the subconscious and never come back. Just get out. Get out! You're not allowed here any longer. You've embarrassed all of Phobieland. Wait, really? Oh, okay. All right. I thought bad guy was going to drag it out for another turn. All right, GG. GG. Yeah, I feel like prototype games every time, it's just, yeah, bad guy sets all their phobies on fire. Mushry back in action there. Fire Ant did nothing. All right, let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Our hero in the blue trunks here on Vile Vortis. I was about to say sporting the numbskull avatar, but that is not the case because this is an older game, so they must have changed their avatar. Looking at the Christmas erratic. Could use with a little winner. Could do with a little winner right now. Could use with a little winner right now. I does English good. No, I do not. But yeah, my wife was telling me at dinner tonight, it's like, we're going to struggle for the next week or so because it's supposed to be like triple digits. Not good. Not good. I like Fire Ant on this map. I think everybody who has Fire Ant likes Fire Ant on every map. I'm not gonna lie. Note is a lie. It did lay down a single trap. Fair. Evo mirror, sort of. Yeah, we're basically a mirror. It's Hevo, Snowball, one key. Admittedly different one keys, but come on. They're doing the same thing here. But our hero has one extra. Charon! You know, there were a bunch of people that were standing Charon for this map, and I don't like it. I don't really like it. I feel like, I don't know, what do you think, chat? Is it okay for a phobie to only be good on, like, one, maybe 1.5 maps? When I say a half a map, it's... They can be useful there, but it's not so overwhelmingly so that, you know, it justifies it. So I'm thinking, like, Charon on Scopoceum is completely reasonable. Like, that is a reasonable play on that map, in my opinion. Is it okay for that to be, like, the only Charon map? Air quotes only. Maybe it's fine on Locker Room Funk. Maybe it's fine on Diabolical. I don't know. We haven't seen those maps enough to really tell. Charon does something at least unlike Bad Sushi. I mean, yeah, that's true. I don't know why Bad Guy played Charon. I don't know. People, that's why I brought it up, because when this, I feel like it was when this map first was revealed. I think. People were championing the idea of Charon to turn off the lava down to the bottom so that you could do something. I don't know what. But honestly, most of the game is involved here. And one of the things I like about this map is that you can get that little bit of extra pressure by capping this point if you properly manage your phobies. Speaking of managing your phobies, quick pick here on the Hevo. When does this Fire Ant show up? Maybe it's to turn off the middle panic point? I mean, right now, like, why would you want that? You've now made your situation worse. All right, so it looks like we're going to trade Hevo for Noxious. Our hero just has to be careful they're not trading Octonauty out as well. All right, get the retreat into the muffin. All right, we're fine. In fact, we are fine. Noxious goes down. We're looking at Snowball, Noxious, and Cat versus Hevo and 2-1 drop. So, very, very even. I mean, Bad Guy could pick off this Contortio. I imagine they will, so negative for our hero, but not in such a significant way that we're worried about it. Poor K. Why did this Clinico show up? I mean, I get this, but, like, The only reason I can get behind this is if you're fearing the Octonauty pull, so, like, there's an argument, don't go the Clinico, just put the damn Hevo on the Spa, it'll be fine. However, if you don't heal it, and then, like, the Octonauty is in a threatening range, you could yoink it? Heal Charon? I mean... Okay. So here's another thing I don't like about Charon here, in this particular instance, is it's going to screw with your own Fire Ant. Either you won't be able to play the trap, or you won't be able to, have the trap activated. I just don't like it. I don't like it. Flops are taking the top panic point, but yeah, they keep turning off the center panic point. I don't know why. Clopster's really underleveled? What are we looking at? Looking at a distraught Clopster. It kind of looks like he's breathing fire, though, right? Should that be the thumbnail, chat? We do this and just go fire-breathing Clopster? Level 3 Clopster? Yeah, I'd say that's underleveled. I'd say that's underleveled. What level is a Fire Ant? Seems not good, chat. Yeah, the thumbnail caption is just gonna be fire! F-I-Y-A-A-A. We get the daisy-chained yoinks. Oh my god. The brutality. If it weren't for that trap, I really would want to dub the Mortal Kombat Flawless Victory over that. Because that would be hilarious. Fire Ant shows up, Fire Ant gets completely deleted. Double pull is awesome. I always run it. It's hilarious. It causes so many issues for your opponent's positioning. Obviously, right? I got a ping in Discord. What is this? Okay, sure, whatever. 3-2 panic point advantage, but by the way, like, nothing has happened. Oh, actually, there's been a significant... I take it back. Our hero's been taking a beating. By the way, yoinks are back up, though. More importantly, really... It's funny because it turns off the center panic point, too. LOL. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. I guess I just get wrecked. Unreal. After that one, if I'm bad guy, I've just tilted off the face of the earth. I'm somewhere in the Andromeda Galaxy right now because I am just, like, hurtling through space. Tilting. I don't even know what this play does. What did that play even do? Realistically, there's nothing bad guy can do here. Our hero still has one key. Granted, it's only one key, but they have a significant board position. There's just way too much stuff. There's way too many things. Trapping the Quagmire. Lul. How good is my Mortal Kombat announcer impression? I guess it depends on what line. In Mortal Kombat, if you actually listen to it, the announcer has changed significantly over the years, as you'd imagine, right? Like, I don't know who the voice actors are, but they do sound similar, but it's not like they said, oh, we'll be the same person, because you could get somebody to imitate something. There are subtle changes if you listen to it over time. More yoinks, because why not? More dead bad guy, Klopster sniping. This is very much downhill play, where it's like you're just pressing your advantage. You're playing from the high stack position. There's really, and you have double yoinks. Your opponent just, like, they can't be anywhere. They're not allowed to go out. You're in the wrong neighborhood, bad guy. All right, W's. Thanks for hanging out. Good luck on the tears grind. It still amuses me that the currency is tears. It's still funny to me. At least bad guy respectfully sends in the Clinico, doesn't try and drag the game out. They see the writing on the wall. Our hero, however, just because they can. Gotta get the Klopster finish, I guess. GG. Taking him down. GG. Ooh, there's a slight level disparity on this matchup. Or at least it appeared to be. Maybe I looked at it wrong. But our hero, Potenzia 2. Haha, big stat Phobie go smash. Alright, look like we're getting a big old dum-dum action. And I'm always down for that. Sometimes it's just fun to have some big dummies walk up and slap the snot out of each other. We'll see which big dummy it happens to be. Big old dum-dums. Everybody's a lollipop. The fairly standard openers from both players here. Completely reasonable. The Hevo's somewhat of a unique wrinkle. I often go, like, just a Jin Sting or something, so that way you can bank the key, but, you know. Is this level 1? It is level 1. Okay, so this actually is a Frenemies game. This is a Frenemies game, because when we zoned in, I thought I saw, like, a 50 stress level difference. But this is with everything set to level 1. Maybe we have a couple people preparing for Fright Night? Maybe? Or they're probably just playing for funsies. But if you weren't aware of that, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can set everything to level 1. That's how we do it for Fright Nights. Nice is right. Like, I love to see these games. I love to see these sort of games. So the early Firkin is very unique here. I've come around to the idea of just using Firkin in general. The damage is low, but it does impact your opponent's game plan so much that it seems reasonable. Now, we have kind of been led to that point primarily because of Big She replays, where Big She has been utilizing Mildred to such an incredible degree that now we just accept, oh yeah, that's completely normal. Firkin's just a regular thing. But Firkin has not been, to this point, a regular thing for most players. Now, our hero here answers with Fire Ant, one of 2 buttons that could be deactivated by the Firkin. We'll see if bad guy elects to go for it, and they do. Shocker, right? But bad guy has some buttons of their own, aside from Meatball and the Firkin Rainbow Smash. We also have Bad Omen, Snowball, and a Tractor. So several things that are still available for bad guy to rain on our hero's parade here. But a very good button indeed. It is a Miss Moffat getting added to the hero's forces. They animated the legs on the spiders very well, chat. I know that seems like a weird detail to call attention to, but it just feels like it's very well done. Not that any of the Phobies animations are not well done. This play, however, depending on which perspective you're talking about from, is or is not very well done. This allowed for big old power down here. It's possible that this just dies, though. Like, this may have been bait. Because you can just yoink the Bad Omen, like, walk the Fire Ant out of the way, yoink the Bad Omen, kill this with the, what's it called? Bow Mangles. Oopsie, baby. Following up the oopsie dead cat. Didn't quite have 9 lives, or maybe they used the other 8 in earlier games. I don't know. This is kind of a cute challenge play because it gives the oopsie baby a free movement to creep closer to the battle. Paddles. I can understand. However, bad guy still needs a little more to supplement their forces. Our hero here adds in a tractor. That is definitely a button you want to deactivate with this Firkin, which is not quite live yet. Not quite live. All right, both players being very wary of the opposing attractors, understandably so. Bad guy getting out to a fairly significant panic point advantage. They did briefly hold a 4-1 earlier, but right now our hero doesn't have an easy way to reclaim it, and in addition is already down keys, so they're going to have to make something happen. Electing to go with the snowball down to the bottom. This is possibly a little dangerous, but I don't know the bad guy had... Ooh. Paddles a tractor to pull Snowball in. I was thinking I don't know if they had enough damage to threaten anything here, and of course there would have been counter pulls, which would have been very bad. But yeah, they could have paddled to sneak the attractor down to the bottom, get a quick pick here, and then the attractor comes up again pretty quickly. But instead, bad guy investing 9 of their 10 keys into Akira. Honestly, bad guy just might not have the damage at this point to actually kill anything. Fish tank! That is a big dummy. That's a big dummy that makes things go smush. Or smash, as the notes indicated. Level 1 fish tank. Calling back to everybody's initial games of Phobies. Very nostalgic. Who invited Fish Tank? Our hero did. Said, you want to come to a winner's party? Because we already know the outcome for this game, but... Bad guy, fed up with the game, is going for it. That was kind of cool to pull their forces away from the traps. Get the power down on the attractor. If you don't get this pick here, though, is this even worth it? That's interesting. Our hero's going to have a hard time retaliating, but I feel like they can probably kill the attractor too, right? Remember, everything's at level 1. The Hevo to aggressively take this point since it can't really do much of anything else. A tractor goes down and all of a sudden bad guy just doesn't really have a lot of damage. The power down was already used. So this fish tank is absolutely gonna go smashing. Yeah, that's probably a dead Akira. And by probably, I mean almost certainly. Numbskull, the final Phobie. Despite the attractor, despite the Akira, I think there just wasn't quite enough damage. I mean, that the attractor yoink into the Akira pull, what did that actually get bad guy? Got a fish tank punching a baby. A sentence you never thought you'd hear. Even dies the fire. I mean, hilariously, Paddles does do extra damage to the fish tank, but it doesn't matter. What the fuck, punching a baby? Take that out of context? Even more out of context, it's a fish tank doing it. Which makes no sense. Fish tanks don't have hands. How could they punch anything? This fish tank has hands. Big, meaty hands. Fish tank just punching the shit out of Oopsie Baby. Numbskull solo, do it! Nah, he couldn't get there. He tried. He did his best. That's what happens. Sometimes your best, just not good enough. GG. GG. Well played. They favored it. They did, in fact, favor the game. My lazy Woolly Bully is just chilling in the pool and wins the match. All right. I haven't seen a Woolly Bully. I keep forgetting to use it. Although I have been using Oopsie Baby more, so I will lean into the idea that I'm pushing for more debuffs. Erratic. Yeah, it needs some help there, Onda. Needs a swift kick in the ass to get moving, right? Maybe Vendy could spare some coffee, and then Erratic will move faster, right? So we do not, in fact, see the now signature DT play of Werewolf. Instead, we get the more traditional Wolf. The Snowball, in fact, coming out, our hero jumping out to an early panic point advantage. And understandably so. There isn't really a way that bad guy can contest it, certainly not with this composition. Woolly Bully! So this Woolly Bully, 363... not quite enough. It's an under-leveled Woolly Bully compared to this Klepto. It probably... I don't think it turns off Klepto entirely on level. Which is probably good, because I think the debuffs, if they were able to turn off, you know, most of the common Phobies 100% on level, that would be problematic. But I think that there is value to utilizing them anyway, because the power down, especially in light of the fact that there are multiple spas on this map, you can take the chip damage and walk away, right? All right, this is interesting. We're electing to go with repositioning the Hevo. I almost thought we were going to get an aggressive push with the Woolly to power something down, but it would have left our hero in an awkward position where they would have gotten clapped by Klepto, most likely. Or the Ray Chargels if they did the Klepto instead. Like, no matter what, they were kind of hosed. So we're getting the expected 1-key trade out. Hero goes Spider. Bad guy goes Spider. Along came a spider. An itsy-bitsy spider. I couldn't think of another spider thing quickly enough, chat. I'm tired. Give me a break. I'm tired. Smiley. Okay. Sure. You got it. I like the little sway that Smiley does. I like to imagine that Smiley is dancing. Or thinks it's dancing. Assuming that it is the type of undead that can have solid cognitive function, we'll say. Definitely putting the pressure on bad guy here. There isn't really a safe advance. Now, this is a Hevo into Wooly Bully, which is kind of tough sometimes. Like, Wooly Bully isn't bad in general, but like, as we were talking about with the Klepto, this will turn off a significant portion of the Hevo's damage. It's still going to get the AoE, it's still going to get fire, but powering down AoE Phobies seems to be the intended counter. And now we get an Erratic to help supplement this, so that way we can dive, we can power down, we can yoink, we can also zone. We got all bases covered. Question is, does bad guy want to be aggressive with this Hevo and just get in there? No, they're going to wait for a tractor. I feel like a tractor could have had a better pun name, chat. I'm too tired to think of what it could be, but I feel like it could have had a better name with a pun, right? The great repositioning here. So as we saw in an earlier game, but with our hero instead having the multiple yoinks, there were probably a whole bunch of pulls here that could have happened. Would they have been profitable? Because Spider can go here, yoink any of these, and then the Attractor pulls up and pulls them further in. Is that worth it? Maybe. Probably lose the Attractor in the process. But if your Hevo doesn't die, maybe you're okay. Problem is, the Hevo... Well, the Hevo probably lives, but then it gets powered down, so... Probably not worth it. Because you're not going to pick something... You'd have to, like, pick the Erratic, and I don't know that you can actually do that. I don't know if you have enough damage. But bad guy has time on their side thanks to panic points until they decide that's not the case. That's a pretty solid Noxious hit, I'm not gonna lie. Allowing the disease to happen, which is interesting. Like, it didn't have to go on Noxious, but I get it. This kills the Smiley. That was a pretty successful invasion. But we do get the retaliation efforts from Erratic here. I was about to say Wooly Bully's going to slap the crap out of Noxious, but that's not true. Down goes a Tractor. Ooh, Ginsting is going to run for its life. It's blue. You can't be unhappy when blue shows up, right? So this Erratic is likely dead, right? There's just... I was going to say there's no way that it lives, but I guess there is very much a way that it lives. Am I wrong? Should bad guy not have... Like, they have to be able to kill this. It's only 1900 health. You can go here. You hit these, both of them. This was, I think, on the spa, so probably can't reach, but all of these can connect, including the Noxious. I don't know. I feel like you take down the erratic, and then our hero has basically no threats. Although I guess the hero could yoink and then walk blue up. Like yoink, walk away, walk blue up, get a hit off the stim, get a hit with this that still won't kill it. I don't know. Down goes Ray. Admittedly, if the erratic, they definitely need to kill erratic. Yeah, I feel like erratic is the higher priority. But if they do, the Hevo's still there, so they're not in a spectacular position. But your Hevo's still alive. You have time also, because you don't have to, like, you've had the panic point advantage for so long that, like, you don't have to worry about it that much. But instead, this erratic is gonna tank the poison. Like, that feels bad. That's a big feels bad. I feel like Daisy should have been here and hit the spider, right? The yoink is down. So this would be 5, 9, 10. Like, it's possible for them to kill the Daisy, but if they do that, they have to commit the Noxious. I guess you wait because the Noxious is just going to die on its own. You know, like, they'd have to step on it with Noxious, which I guess this is better. Because hypothetically, Hevo... But then the Hevo... Like, I don't know. If the Hevo's here, because it hits the erratic and splashes, Spider walks up, Snowball walks up, Noxious flies in, then you just erratic the crap out of their team? At this point, bad guy's in a real rough spot. They need our hero to overextend with the erratic. But our hero has a panic point advantage. Bad guy has to go in. I don't even know how they break this. Yeah, I think that not killing the erratic was a misplay. Obviously, the Hevo represents a threat, but if blue gets on the stim, they're going to lose. It's an auto loss. It's just a moral victory. This Wooly Bully is straight up just, it is chilling in the pool. Like, all right, guys, it's too hot out. You see that lava? It's too damn hot. Power down on the Hevo. Bad news for bad guy. I do like this. Our hero probably recognized at the last second that if they went here, it could get yoinked. Like, they could have gone here, yoinked to here, and then they splash these. I don't know that that matters, given the power down, but, like, whatever. 92 damage, chat. 92. Wooly Bully's just taking a break. My man put in a lot of effort. Not really. Wooly Bully didn't really do a whole hell of a lot in this match. Although, admittedly, the scream at the end. It is funny that... How does Wooly Bully scared... Or power down a Phobie? He just screams at them. He's doing a bathtub stream. Those, like, that was a thing for a while. It's not... Hasn't been a thing for a good chunk of time, I think. Erratic finally eats it. So does Bad Guy's Heart. GG. Well played. Alright, Masterdarksh Vile Vortis number 11. You wanted the Burrow game? Let's watch it. I thought that was going to be, you wanted the Burrow game? You get the Burrow game! Here we go. Let's see what we got. The only suggestion I made for the survey is Doom Doom buff. If Doom Doom absorbed a trap with effect like poison, the next basic attack have that trap effect. I think that's way too complex for the effect. I think if it's going to absorb it, it's just going to be like Tickles. But we talked about this the other night. I don't think it's a good idea for them to rework Phobies. I don't think it's a good idea to rework and especially to buff Phobies, which sounds weird. But I think that their best option is to simply... Also, why did Bad Guy do this? They banked to 9, so there must be something specific coming out on 9. If they're going to rework things, I feel like it's going to get a nerf on abilities. And it's not going to be like an extensive rework. It's going to be like adding a cooldown. I'm putting those in the rework category. That's a Barzilla. I'm not going to lie, not what I expected out of that many keys. Absolutely not. I could go into, but if people really want to hear my thoughts on why that the reworks are a bad idea, you'll just have to let me know. I've talked about it a lot on stream. Smother Mother. That is, in fact, a Burrow-phobie. But yeah, up to this point, we talked about it the other night, the devs have not done any reworks. And I think there were phobies, even in the balance passes last year, at the time and in retrospect, like now looking at then, could have justified a rework. And they chose not to do it. I am of the opinion, and although I'm a content affiliate, they don't tell me these things. They wouldn't. I am of the opinion, good pick on the cassowary there, because there's just like 0 threat on the board to the Smother Mother. This thing is just freaking enormous. Level 13. I'm of the opinion that they're never going to rework anything. It's not impossible, but I don't think they're going to do it. I think they just want to tweak things. So if you don't see a HP or damage change impacting how a phobie works, or affects the meta, or whatever, that's a jackalope for I don't know what reason. If those things are not going to resolve the issue in question, I don't think the issue is going to get resolved. At least right now. Again, it's not impossible for them to suddenly say, hey, we're going to do reworks, but no evidence thus far. Absorbing the dimensional damage on Daisy. Definitely appreciate that. The Daisy can die. Honestly, W's, I think Mopsy without Jackalope King is better than Mopsy with. Droney can reach it? Yeah, there's a lot of ways that it could die. I don't really like Leela here. I guess, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I try Leela on this map. Chat, next time it comes up. But the reason I like Mopsy without the Jackalope King is because you save 3 keys. And Mopsy, at least as a Resurrect phobie, does serve a purpose. Like, you can get value out of the Mopsy because it requires your opponent to jump through hoops to kill it. Especially at lower stress levels, it can be very challenging. Wait, what? I guess you just needed the meatball nap. Okay, you can't kill it. I guess that's fine. That just feels really awkward, but I don't see an immediate way that Bad Guy can really punish this. I mean, you can swing down and snowball? You send Mopsy in? I guess that counts as an immediate punish. So there's clearly a trap here, right? Like 100% a trap there. Except Bad Guy, I'm pretty sure this thing still dies. Oh, maybe not. Meatball's down. Maybe you don't have enough damage to kill this Barzilla. I take it back. Maybe Bad Guy's safe? Maybe? Question marks? YouTube clickbait? Weird question? Bees! Barzilla. Going to that, the big pub in the sky. What did I come back to? Burrow.game, apparently. Although it's hilarious because Moley is here instead of just capping this point. Why is there a Jackalope King? And a this is bad guy surrendering. This is bad guy surrendering. Smother Mother put in work. Like, it's funny. Imagine a world. Imagine a world. Why is a Tiny Tim not taking the bottom paddock point either? What is the point of the burrow? Like, what is the purpose of the burrow if you're not going to burrow? You just did regular movement. I don't even remember what I was saying. I'm so annoyed about this burrow. I don't even remember what I was saying, but I'm so annoyed about this burrow that it didn't happen. We're getting a weird game here. This isn't, like, this doesn't even register on the weirdometer compared to last week. Like, let's be real. Last week was, like, unearthly. This is more, I mean, I don't know if it qualifies as a troll game. This is more like Masterdarksh is trolling me, specifically, by saying it's a burrow game, and then not actually burrowing any of the damn phobies. This was kind of bold here, which is funny, like, diving in here, and then the Jin Sting is what eats the trap. Chat, I don't think a single burrow phobie had to burrow in this game. I don't think there was a single movement from one of those burrow phobies that actually was a burrow. They just walked around their teammates. I'd have to go back and look, but that feels like there was literally no use for the burrow movement. Which does say something about burrow movement, how rare that it is, that it has value. I mean, it does have some very unique and powerful use cases, but it's kind of funny. That many burrow units, and not one of them, I think, actually burrowed. GG. Alright, we have somebody new to Game Breakdowns, or at least I don't remember the name, Nightmerking. I assume this is supposed to be, like, a play on Nightmare. But in my head, all I can think is, like, Nightmare Aquaman. Because it's Merking. Am I the only one getting that? Like, am I just delirious? Bueller. Showing up a little Repeller action for you guys. Alright, let's see Repeller in action. We had a few games on Exponential Decay tonight, chat. I don't think I played that much on that map in this rotation. I don't mind this map, I don't think. I think it's fine. I think I do have a very positive first impression of it, though, because I think not long after I gained access to this map, I got access to Rambolina, and we first started having fun with boops. So it's kind of one of those warm and fuzzies in the back of your head where it's like, you just you forever associate it with good feelings, good vibes, right? Speaking of good vibes, Gravedigger having fun demolishing things. Both players sporting a Gravedigger. I don't know about this. Like, I get it. There is some value, but I don't know. Saw the name before and thought Nightmerking. Like, Nightmare King. This time when it came up, I couldn't help thinking Nightmerking. Like a verb. Fair. That's also a fair interpretation. Amusing one at that. So we do see a Clopster. I didn't check before we zoned it. God damn it. Game. Level 13. Alright, so we're fairly high up there on the stress level meter. We're up there. We're probably in the 80s, 70s, 80s, I would guess. Maybe 90s even. Depending on, like, the rest of the bench. Speaking of Rambolina, the original frog phobie. I mean, really, it's supposed to be a bowl, right? Like, boop. Quick pick there on the old Snowball. Out of range of Rambolina. Could have actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, could have been up here. But bad guy was probably fearing a counter boop and some weird scenario happening. As we discussed last night, I don't really understand them. I still am mystified by how boop and yoink mechanics work every once in a while. Pour one out, chat. Pour one out for the 4 keys just incinerated by investing them into Temptress. Wait a second. I just noticed that Temptress has, like, this pattern on the belly. You see what I'm talking about with, like, the little, spikes here? It's a gnat. Over here on the side and then on the bottom. I only just noticed that right now. The side ones kind of make sense because it's supposed to be, like, the scales, like the belly scales. But the bottom ones feel like it's supposed to be belly markings. Yeah, Repeller's gonna eat. This is what bad guy was afraid of earlier, I think. This is what I think bad guy was afraid of earlier, but we'll forget about Temptress for now. And boop. Yeah. Yeah. Bad guy, meet bad day. Bad guy, meet bad day. Sure. I don't know what the hell this Clopster thinks it's doing. Our hero has the same amount of keys available to them this turn as bad guy has entirely. Just saying. It's not impossible for bad guy to come back from this position, but our hero has 2 displacement effects. Bad guy lost their displacement effect, and the damage you thought you put on that Hevo, completely irrelevant now. Oh, and our hero also has a 1 key on the board to keep recapping points. As a headphone user, my ears are just fine for the record. Well, I'm glad I'm not destroying your hearing, DT. I'm glad my random screaming and ranting and raving. Alright, 12 keys to 9 remaining. The forces are aligned. Oh, no. Oh, I thought the boop was live and we were about to see something heinous again. Oh, no. We are about to see something heinous because the other boop is live. Oh my god. Our hero here, Aquaman himself, trying to win me over to the side of Repeller. After the first one, I wonder if bad guy just kind of like, wait, no. No. Are you kidding me? Come on. This can't be real life. Oh my god. How many Phobies was that? That was 3 Phobies, but how many keys? Do I like Repeller better than 2.0? The cooldown means you get more boops over time. You do. You do. And maybe this is a valid use case for Repeller on this map. I am absolutely willing to use it. I am willing to try it. Because I feel like Repeller is so bad that I want to give it a fair evaluation. And maybe this is like... Maybe this is a Charon scenario where this map in particular is just a very strong Repeller map or something. Because, I'll be honest with you, at no other point am I ever, like, virtually any other map do I want to see Repeller. But here, this is a strong use case for it because there's just... And also, by the way, Finnegan, just to make life even more... Ha-ha! Got him. Nightmare, making a strong case to not just be Mer-King of the Sea, but King of the Boops. Oh, by the way, still had all ease. I feel like there's a thumbnail in here where it should be King of the Boops is, like, we know how this game ends. I got an idea. This wasn't the turn. I got an idea, hold on. How's this for a thumbnail with King of the Boops, and I'll put a Repeller on there? What do you think, Chad? Does this one win the day? I crap on Repeller a lot, so, like, shout out to our hero here. As I mentioned earlier, no stream next weekend. Back the week after. And then I'm going to be missing some days the following week, because there's other real-life stuff going on. But we'll worry about that when we get there. But yeah, definitely no stream next weekend. Fright Night coming up. It's already full. Just make a VR avatar. I mean, there's that. Fright Night is full. But if you want to play and you didn't get the chance to sign up, players are required to check in starting 48 hours before the event. If they fail to check in at the start of the event, they're going to get dropped. So there might be open slots, or somebody might just say, hey, I signed up, but I actually can't play because something came up, or I forgot, or I don't want to, or whatever. There's usually a handful of people that do that. So if you're interested in playing, hit up the Discord. That's where stuff will go out first. And of course, you can find out about Fright Night ahead of time by being in the Discord. I am still working on a couple other projects, so we will see what we can do from there. There's a few different things going on the docket. We're gonna see how it goes. I don't want to spoil too much, but yeah, Fright Night is 2 weeks from now. Yes, so Fright Night is the 16th and 17th of September. Time of this recording, or date of this recording, is the 3rd. So you have some time to prepare. Have a little bit of time to prepare. And I'm excited to see what people have. We have a bunch of new faces, new to Fright Night, but we have a bunch of heavy hitters as usual, so we'll see what happens. But for now, everybody, like I said, shorter stream because I am wiped out. I need to sleep. I really need to rest, and we'll come back swinging with the next stream. So as always, everybody, thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and Black Lives Matter.